Welcome back to Primitive Organic Garden. Today is the 1st of April and we are looking at a blue leek that I grew from seed that was probably 4 or 5 years old. I was kind of surprised that any of them germinated. This is my first time ever trying to grow leeks. I mean, I've planted some leek seeds, direct seeded them a few times in the past and never really saw anything happen, but this is my first year actually growing leeks. I think I did 2 varieties, Giant Musselburgh, which I don't think I actually have any of, and then some French leek that had blue in the name, and the plants are kind of a pretty blue color. I think blue is an underrated color in the garden. There's not a lot of plants that produce things that are blue. There's a handful of blue squash. There's a few varieties of blue tomato, which are really more of a purple in my opinion. Not a lot of blue things. Chicory produces blue flowers. It's very pretty. I was going to do a video today about blue pea picking. I think these peas are more of a purple color personally, but the seed pack says blue pea, so just like the seed pack on these said blue leek. I think I planted these leek seeds, must have been back in November, early November. The seeds take forever to germinate, the plants grow really slow. I want to say I transplanted these out into the garden like, I don't know, maybe the 1st or 2nd week of January. Looks like I got 3 or 4 pretty strong looking plants. It's quite possibly my favorite vegetable. They're really expensive. But this video is not about blue leeks. It's about blue peas. These are actually my winter peas that I overwintered. My spring peas are just now starting to germinate, so they're not going to be producing pods for at least a month and a half. But all my winter peas that I planted November, December, and early January are they're producing like crazy. They grew all winter long, but I didn't get a single pod during the winter. We had a pretty cold winter this year, and the longest winter we've had in quite a long time. And the flowers would come out, and I think they would just die with the frosts. So the plants were doing fine, but I just wasn't getting any peas. And the last couple of days, I've just been having flushes of peas. But I wanted to apologize for the dumb video about wasps that I may or may not have uploaded. At this point, I don't think I have uploaded it, but at the point in time at which you may be watching this video, I may have uploaded it. There's been crazy amounts of wasps in the garden lately, and I was out in the garden the other day, and there were just tons of wasps everywhere, probably like 100 or more. Every single wooden stake, bamboo stake, every piece of wood in the garden just covered in wasps. 4 or 5 of them aggregating on every stake. And I got a couple of wasp stings, but I'm not really allergic, so it's not a big deal. But the dog got a sting or 2 because he's always harassing the wasps, and he limped around for an hour or so. But look at all that pretty lettuce. But yeah, so I tried to make a video about all the wasps, and the video was going to discuss how, while wasps are kind of a nuisance in the garden because they might sting you or your dog occasionally, they're actually really good caterpillar hunters. And I've had the pleasure of watching wasps swoop down on a collard plant and, you know, rip a caterpillar off the plant, and it's just really satisfying to watch. And they're just underrated biocontrol agents. But I don't find them to be particularly aggressive. If you don't bother them, they're probably not going to bother you. But my silly dog's always trying to go up and nip at them. And occasionally I'll get in their way if I'm trying to harvest something. But oh, the barley's starting to head up finally. But this isn't a video about barley. I was really just apologizing about the video about the wasps because it didn't really come out well. Despite the fact that there were like hundreds of wasps, or at least maybe 100 wasps in the garden when I was filming it, they fly really fast and just kind of flew by the camera pretty quickly, and I couldn't really get good shots of them. And it was just kind of kind of a waste of a video. So I probably have not uploaded the wasp video, but I may have. This video I'm recording at a later date. If you really want to see a video about wasps, let me know in the comments section, and if I haven't uploaded the wasp video, maybe I will. But this video is really about picking shelling peas. Is that a farm dog? Is that a farm dog? I don't know. It might just be a big rat. It's a farm dog! It is a farm dog! Hey, bud. So I got a step basket here in which to pick my peas. I didn't know this was a step basket when I bought it. I saw it at the thrift store and it was like $4, and I thought, wow, that would be a really pretty basket to fill with potting mix and plant some flowers in and put outside. But somebody told me it was a step basket. So apparently it's supposed to go on your steps. And then I suppose once it's on your steps, you can fill it with potting mix and pretty flowers. But I really just got it because I wanted to have something to pick vegetables with in the garden. It was like $3.99. Anyway, I got this blue or purple shelling pea here. This is actually seed that I saved from last year. So the benefits of saving your own seed, obviously you save a ton of money. And as long as you're growing open pollinated, heirloom crops, and you're careful about, not planting different varieties that are insect pollinated or wind pollinated too close to each other, you can, have nice pure seed stock and save varieties year after year and have them come true to type. And each year they'll get a little bit more adapted to your local microclimate and your particular weather. A lot of times I buy, seed for some cool new variety I want, and it comes from, 1,000 miles away. And if that area has a very different climate than what I have, it might take a little while before that particular variety starts to do well in my area. So it's important to keep those things in mind. You can see I'm leaving a lot of pods on here because they're too thin. You can feel them, feel that it's not, pod is not full. The peas inside have not completely, developed to the point that I want them to. If this were a type of pea that were, sugar snap, if you intended to eat the pod, you would want to pick it at the earliest stage possible. There's lots of different types of peas. You got, what they call snow peas, you got snap peas, you also got shelling peas. And, we can get into the taxonomy and, the breeding objectives for each of those different types of peas, but at the end of the day, there's peas where you eat them raw and you eat the entire thing, including the shell. And then there's peas where you have to shell them and have to cook them. And, lots of pros and cons depending on what your goals are. For years and years, I just like to grow, the little sugar snaps. I'd come out in the garden and just pick them as tiny as possible and eat them raw, and they'd be delicious and sugary and just taste like you're eating sugar. But eventually I kind of developed a little bit of an allergy to the raw sugar peas, so now the only way I can eat them is to cook them. So now that my goals are to cook them, I grow a lot more shelling peas. And I think if you're purely in it for nutrition, eating the little sugar snaps is probably better for you because you get the whole pod and you get all the fiber and all the vitamins and minerals. But if you're trying to store peas over winter, or somebody like me who has an allergy to raw peas, then growing shelling types is the way to go. And so for shelling types, you don't want to harvest them when the pods are all thin and flat. You would harvest a sugar snap as early as possible. But shelling peas, you want to harvest them at a stage where the pod is still moist and the pod is still vibrant and has its color and its turgidity, but at the same time the pod is completely filled out. If you harvest them too early, there's not going to be any peas inside. And because these are shelling peas, you don't eat the shell, so it's not like you can just cook the shell and eat that. So if you harvest it too early, you're not going to get anything. And if you harvest it too late, some of the peas inside are going to start going to seed, which is what you would want to do if you were saving seed for the next year. You would want to let a few pods stay on the plant until they were completely dried out and the pods inside were, all kind of desiccated, and the pod outside was kind of woody. But anyway, so you can see I'm leaving quite a few pods on the pea plant there because I want to let them fill out. I will also probably leave a couple pods on the plants indefinitely so that I have more seed for the fall. Now this is a good example of a pod that has gone to seed. Now we can see that this pod here is completely dry and makes crackling noises. It doesn't look, juicy. This